And I think Miracle made a great point that, like, you know, Americans are now starting to feel the embarrassment that the entire world looks at them through. You know what I mean? And maybe kind of like, you know, you said this return to normalcy. I love the way you framed that. Yeah. Because the country is clamoring for something. I think the country is clamoring for some homeostasis, right? Something.
Well, you know what the country is clamoring for?
More cowbell?
Apparently, it's reparations for white people is what the country is clamoring.
I was so close when I said cowbell. I was so close.
Apparently.
Didn't white people already have that? Didn't they already get reparations?
The Homestead Act, all of these things.
Reconstruction and all of that shit.
Land and support and jobs to white people.
It's just like they just want more.
Well, again, I think this is where
they just want so much more.
Every time you do your Trump voice, it cracks me up.
I wasn't even a Trump voice. We want more. We need more. We deserve more.
But again, here is a Republican candidate saying, like, how can
a black Republican candidate?
No, this is the white one.
Oh,
this is the
we're
white
splitting
one.
hairs.
Well, I don't know.
Point.
I guess he might be Latino.
Bernie Moreno. What is it with the Morenos running? Like,
I don't know.
Maybe this one's gonna wave a shotgun at his neighbor too. Who knows?
I have no idea. So did you want to play this? He did
reluctantly
a conversation about reparations, and he asked about reparations for white people.
What were the people that came before us? And we stand on the shoulders of giants, don't we? We stand on the shoulders of people like John Adams and James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and George Washington. That this group of people that took on the largest empire in history and said, no, we will not stand for this. And won. That same group of people later, white people died to free black people.
White people died to free black people.
It's never happened in human history before, but it happened here in America.
Never happened in human history before the time of Great American.
They make it sound like America is a racist, broken country. You name a country that did that. That freed slaves, died to do that. You know, they talk about reparations. Where are the reparations for the people from the North?
Where are the reparations for the people from the North?
Black people.
Died to save the lives of black people.
And I know it's not politically correct to say that. But you know what? We got to stop being politically correct. We got to
freeing black people.
I mean,
by mathematically speaking, that the black people who did free labor for hundreds and hundreds of years.
No, because you got such great skills.
I don't know.
You got such great skills with slavery, man.
But I'm saying, if you deserve reparations for freeing us, I mean, wouldn't we deserve reparations for being the actual ones that were enslaved?
This is literally them not viewing black people as human beings.
100%.
That's 3/5 of a human.
We died for you, nigga. Where's our bag?
Yeah, man.
Like, what?
I keep thinking like that. I keep thinking about that in Gangs in New York, and that scene when they're riding in the streets, and the brother's walking through that played D'Angelo Barksdale on The Wire. Yeah. He's walking through, and the white guy is like, "I died for you, nigga," or "I fought for you, nigga," and he ain't got a leg.
Yeah.
He's like, "I fought for you, nigga," and it's like that's the gratitude that we're supposed to.
100%.
I did this for you, comma, nigga.
Right.
Give me my money.
As if I asked to be brought over here and forced into slavery, which we did not. You know what I'm saying?
But, I mean, and then Mark Robinson from North Carolina.
Oh, this is the Black Republican.
This is the Black Republican, not the Jay-Z and Nas record. This is,
it's with the Marks and the Morenos.
Yeah, the Marks and the Morenos just are not doing themselves any favors.
No,
but
absolutely not.
This is a Black Republican to probably, and Miracle said, probably going to be the first black governor of North Carolina.
Let's hope not.
Let's
fight against this man, for God's sake.
Saying that black people owe white people reparations. Here we go.
Was it white people? Let's see what he has to say.
He says,
well, let's hear what he says.
This is our Clarence Uncle Tom.
They wanted reparations.
Oh, definitely.
And I remember I made this particular liberal so angry at me because I told them right to their face, nobody owes you anything for slavery. If you want to tell the truth about it, it is you who owes. It's you who owes.
My bad.
Why do you owe? because somebody in those fields took stripes for you.
Who was holding the whip, sir?
Somebody after those fields were ended and slavery was ended, somebody had to walk through Jim Crow for you.
Who
yes, they had to.
Somebody fought wars and died for you.
Who killed them, sir?
Somebody lived less than because they didn't have what you have, and they did it for you.
Who put them in a systemic racist condition to live less than, sir?
There are people in their graves right now.
Why are they in the graves?
And they are there because they were willing to stand up and fight for you. Those folks on the Edmund Pettus Bridge
Who
carrying American flags, take that, Colin Kaepernick. Living in a society that he could scarcely acknowledge, something that he has never known, living with a bigotry that none of us can imagine.
He lived with white parents that were racist.
Carried American flags on that bridge. And when they were hit upside the head with nightsticks and shot with water hoses and knocked to the ground, they got up and picked those flags up and kept marching.
It's like, what
And they
America
did it for you.
Okay, so we owe
Nobody owes you anything. If anybody owes, it's you. Because you.
I'm tired.
Okay,
of this
wait.
nigga.
So we owe
That just really irritated
because
me.
our grandparents and great grandparents and ancestors were whipped.
Yeah, it's our fault, bro. So
right.
So we need to pen an apology letter.
Well,
and say, hey, you know what, America?
Hey,
you were right. We should have just stayed slaves.
I mean,
Clearly we were happier.
No, but very interesting retelling of history.
100%.
And I have been, I have to tell us all the time, like I was raised Republican, my dad was Republican. And there is always this blurring of facts when it comes to race and racism.
Yes, absolutely.
And most people will be like, oh, I'm Republican, so I can have a gun because that's the gun party.
Yes.
And people be like, stuff happened, we just don't talk about it.
Yes.
Here, it's like these things happen, and we're just going to rewrite it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're just going to pretend like history did not happen. Like, I think his last name was Cranston, but I know his first name was Ira. He has a book called When Affirmative Action Was White. And he goes through all of the times in American history where we actually gave reparations to white people, particularly because we had to give black people this basic equal rights.
Ira Katz Nelson.
Yeah. And he actually had, and if you don't like to read, he actually has some talks on YouTube that you can watch as well. He's a researcher, and he did it by...
Thank you, Miracle. I appreciate that.
Looking at governmental policies and tracks. Thing. So it's not just like, someone's a theorist.
100%.
And it's very funny because anytime black people have any type of measure of success or freedom in this country, it is white people who not only benefit but are paid to deal with it.
Come on, man.
And it's very interesting when we see both of these men of color coming out right now against reparations, against race and equity, talking about black people are ungrateful, black people need to pay. We are paying.
Yes.
Taxes we are paying.
Absolutely.
Prisons we are paying.
Yes.
We don't have
We pay
rights.
with our lives.
We literally have people right now trying to fight governments because the governments are trying to take their land and build highways and byways again.
Right.
We've seen this,
Even, I mean, we just had, the woman, Kim Porter, who killed the young brother, is already out of jail. Like, we watched
She got out on Monday.
Right. And then...
and how much time did she do?
She did less than 2 years. And then the person who, one of Breonna Taylor's murders, got another job. So, like, just like you said, we've been paying.
At a police department.
We've been seeing, like, no repercussions coming of even our own murders.
White people get to fill up.
1,000%.
And they get to have all the grace to have second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth chances.
Yes.
But when it comes to like black people, we have to be perfect all the time.
Yes.
And we are always required to just be silent about the disrespect.
Well, they
that
want us
comes
to be.
our way.
We're not. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Because we
that's
got
true.
podcast
I'm
mics.
saying we got a
Even
show
though
called,
the
We got
United
podcast
States
mics.
Postal Service tried to take our mics,
Man.
we got some more. But I would say this, Miracle, because like the idea, and I forget what the black Republican dude's name, the idea that like, we owe our ancestors, like we already know that. Like you see black people with shirts that say, I'm my ancestors' wildest dreams. We already know like what, many of us know like what our ancestors had to sacrifice to even get us here. A lot of our immediate family mom, dad, grandma, had to like go through tremendous sacrifice, pain, and suffering for us to be here today. Like, we know that, and we do owe them, and we feel like we owe them a debt of gratitude. But the suffering didn't come in a vacuum.
No.
Like, to say like that person was in that field being whipped. Well, who was holding the whip, Mark? It was white slave owners that not only brutalized our families, but they made tremendous amounts of money doing it.
And
that they still have.
I was just about to say
Why did Jim Crow take place? Because black people started to have success post-slavery, started to have our own towns post-slavery, had a black Wall Street post-slavery, and y'all started hanging us and murdering us and killing us and tearing it down because we were having economic success, financial success, family success. So what punishment comes to those people? Like, but then like you said, but I got a dime bag of marijuana in my pocket and you want to give me 5-10 years for that? But there's no punishment. There's no repair for what what his ancestors went through.
And that's the thing. It's like, he acts like this was antiquity.
But not only that, one more thing I just say. Like,
go ahead.
This is how you pay back the people that got your black ass on that fucking podium? You big ass sellout? You pay them back by minimalizing what our ancestors went through, by not even holding the people accountable that did this to your grandparents? Oh my God, I'm just saying, man, this is crazy. You are the one that's a disrespect to your own ancestors.
Absolutely.
The guy, I'm about to go to North Carolina.
Right. Not
Wage me a
yours.
one-man campaign against this nigga.
And North Carolina, because that's where my parents are from, is one of the racist places. That was where they had the cornfields, that's where the tobacco fields.
Absolutely.
And so you think of like all of your tobacco industry, a lot of that came up through the South, and those corporations stole so much from black people.
Absolutely.
I know my dad picked cotton when he was growing up. My dad was one of the people who are in these fields for these corporations, my grandparents as well. And so Mark has a very interesting retelling of history because North Carolina history, Assange Shakur was from North Carolina, right? There were a lot of organizers and great organizers that came out of North Carolina because of the violence and the anti-blackness and the brutality and the policing and the sharecropping that just like permeated the Carolinas. And so it's sad sometimes when we see these people who have this lived history and shared experience try to downplay it to get white supremacy to lift them up and to support them and protect them. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah, no, that's a powerful statement.